Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to HK Talks. So, we are going to have a TV chat about School Spirit Season 3 finale. Now, I thought I was going to cry. I cried, but I didn't cry out of sadness. I cried from laughing. Okay. Okay, y'all. So, the part with Wally and Maddie, I teared up when they hugged and kissed each other and ran towards each other. And I cried. Maybe I'm a little sentimental, over sentimental, but I cried at that. But the rest of the episode, oh my goodness. Okay, so in season 1, when Maddie's body got switched and it was the body swap, and they made you think like this whole time, this build up of who murdered Maddie, and it was nobody. Janet swapped her body. That was hokey. And season 2 was hokey. And I kept watching it, like I said, because I love Maddie and Wally. I think their chemistry, this actors' chemistry is really good. But this third season, the season 3 finale, got really dumb. Van Height switching into the body of the bad guy, the superintendent woman, played by Jennifer Tilly. I was like, okay. And the actors, it wasn't their fault. You could tell they were trying really hard, but it doesn't matter if the script is bad. If the script is bad, doesn't matter how good the actors are. And I think all the actors are really good on this show, on School Spirits. It was funny because it was Peyton List and the guy who plays Jacob on the way home, and when Van Height's and the Jennifer Tilly's body, the superintendent's body, it was like the actors were trying really hard, but you could tell it was like, you can't make like a script that's stupid work. Okay, doesn't matter how good the actors were. And it was like, when did he jump into her body and how? And then at the end, he jumped into the mother's body. How did he jump into Maddie's mom's body? And when? How? And it was like at the end, when he was like, he said something like, "Good night, dear," or whatever. Rest is the best, as I always say. Wouldn't that have tipped her off? Like, just because the second he said that, I was like, he's in the mom's body. And how did he get into the mom's body? And it's like, how are they going to get rid of Van Height? Like, how are they going to get rid of this ghost? Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters! I mean, there's something strange in the neighborhood. Who you going to call? Ghostbusters! But I'm just like, okay. That was, we're just like going all over the place now. We got no rules. And I thought, like, when we were in the woods, that we were going to have this tearful goodbye with Maddie and Wally, and it was going to be like, I love you, goodbye. And now Wally, Janet, Dawn, Maddie's dad are all stuck in the woods, in the purgatory woods. And I'm just like, how many purgatory layers, how many purgatory afterlives can we have? And it was like Alice in Wonderland purgatory. Don't look at the mirrors. And even like Dawn said what I was thinking, it's really topsy-turvy here, which I was like, we gotta see Dawn. When I was watching the beginning, I was like, they had to show us Dawn because Dawn was the first to cross over. And I remember like the creators of the show said we wanted to keep the actress who played Janet and have her character because the actress is a really good actress. And like, Janet was gone like in the first episode of season 3, so I was like, we gotta see Janet obviously cross over. But you know, they'd like been building up the, oh, once your exit door, you cross over to the other side. And I'm like, when are we gonna have the Patrick Swayze moment, you know, in Ghost? Like, Unchained Melody, A Hunger for Your Touch scene where he like passes over, you know, and like I'm just like, when is that gonna happen? And because they kept building up like that they had an exit door to lead out. Why does the exit door lead to the woods? Like, none of it makes sense. But I gotta give a special shout out to the person who commented on my last video who said that they thought the doors were a trap, the exit doors. You were right. It was a trap. It makes me think of Star Wars of Admiral Akbar. It's a trap. But and like Wally did that to help Maddie to get Simon back. And then Simon couldn't remember who he was, which I wasn't sure why he couldn't remember who he was, like the guy they kept calling White Eyes. Now, the part that I thought was kind of cool, was when Quinn and Rhonda fall into like the portal into the water, and everybody was able to see them, and they're like, get out of the library. That part was cool, and Nicole and Claire saw them. They've been like trying every season for the other characters to be able to see the ghosts, like new ways for that to happen. But but anyways, and then now the ghosts can roam around town, because when Yuri was like, I'm gonna get a smoke, then he was able to leave the boundary. Now those ghosts are able to leave the school, so now they're gonna be walking around town, and I don't know if like Maddie and Simon are gonna see them in town, like if they saw them walking into Walmart or something. And it was like Maddie's body and like her mind was going into the afterlife because she had been into the afterlife. And at first when she was walking like in her haze or whatever, I thought she was being picked up by a ghost in a car. Like you know how like in the hospital there's the ghost using the elevator? I thought it was like a ghost driving a car, but it wasn't. It was Olivia, which I figured she was gonna like turn good, like she was gonna turn to the good side. But yeah, so it was it was Purgatory meets Alice in Wonderland. And we don't know like what happened with Mr. Martin and who stayed behind, like what happened to him. So, and the thing with the kid, I was confused, but I don't think really anything makes sense. Nothing makes sense. I was confused with the kid Ralph, like with the whole bus thing. Like, was he trying to warn to save them, to save the teenagers that died on the bus, or was he trying to warn, like, so they wouldn't be alone when they died? Like, I don't know. I was confused by all that, but none of it makes sense. And I think the writers are just writing as they're going along. I was a telecommunication film major in college, and so I learned about different fields of media, and I learned about like writing television. And maybe you already know this, but there are a lot of shows they just write a pilot and they don't have a plan. And they literally just go along season by season. And that's not what I do. I'm a writer. I have a plan from the very beginning. There might be like a few things, like minor things added, but like I know what happens beginning, middle, and end. I'm an author. I have written a children's book called Winston Narwhal and the First Wish. And I have a book series called Kept by the Wind and Sky. And book 2, my series, just came out. I'll put it in the description box if you want to check out my books. But I knew, like, I've known when I was writing the first book what happens in my trilogy. So, but anyways, so I was doing a little bit of rambling about writing for a second. But anyways, so yeah, so those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts on that, on the episode, on the finale. And I knew it was going to end on a cliffhanger. Like, I knew it was going to end on a cliffhanger. And I really want Maddie and Wally to be together. I don't know how that's going to be. Maybe he just, like, takes somebody's body since, you know, they've introduced that. But, and now they're, like, stuck. So how are they going to get out of the woods? Yeah, so, but anyhow, so it was very campy. Now, well, I keep watching the show, yes, because I have watched 3 seasons of this, you know, when you keep watching a show because you've watched it, and like I've said, I think the actors I think the whole cast is really good. It was just the writing, especially in like the season 3 finale. And I didn't feel like there was enough Maddie and Wally, like, time. Like, enough, like, I was so happy they kissed and they were able to touch each other because they hadn't been able to make any physical contact. But I didn't feel like they got enough screen time. Like, it was only, like, a minute or so. And I think, like I said, the two characters, I think the actors have great chemistry. It was, you know, kind of cool to see, like, the 80s, because in color, because, like, in their memories, we've seen it, like, dim. But anyways, like I said, those are my thoughts. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please like it, and please subscribe, and let me know what you thought of the season 3 finale. And I'm hoping, like, I think season 4, which I kind of got this impression will be their last season, and I think they need to have season 4 be their last season and, like, wrap this up. But thank you guys for watching my video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!